All right, guys, well, here we are. Game number 1 has commenced, and down in the bottom left part of the map, Atlantis Spaceship, we have our Protoss player in the red from SK Gaming. It is MC, stands for Minchu, is his name. And up at the top of the map, in the blue, from the team, the SCV Life, it is Polt, Super Tournament Champion.
That's right. Super Tournament Champion versus a multiple GSL winner. This is pretty high stakes in this set, and like we said, for those guys who were just tuning in, the winner of this match will go on to play the reigning GSL Codex champion, MVP Dongrigu, next set. So a PVT, something that we could be seeing a lot of in GSL over the next couple of days as well.
Yeah, and pretty much that's what we're only going to see, aside from, PvP as well. But
that's true. We're guaranteed one PvP, and we also have a PVT that involves MVP. So if he makes it through to the finals, we will have a PVT finals, but there is a potential, and I can't believe I'm saying this, a GSL finals that's PvP?
Yeah, it's possible. I'm trying to remember the last Protoss versus Terran GSL finals we have. I believe it was MC versus Rain.
Wow,
way back
it
in
was.
GSL, 3, I think
Open
it was?
3, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Open Season 3. That was our last Protoss versus Terran GSL, as far as I can remember.
So since 2010.
Yeah, actually, that's it. Yeah, it's been, it was 2010, wasn't it?
Lots of Terran players, but playing other Terran players or Zerg players occasionally. So
that's
we even had that one weird ZVZ finals. So
we did, yeah, that was odd. We've already had 2 Team Kill GSL finals. It's kind of interesting.
Yes, we have potential for one as well. I believe, I'm not sure how the brackets work out, but we still have Squirtle and Parting in the event. They're on opposite sides. It's Parting versus MVP, and it's Hero versus Squirtle, correct?
That's right, yep.
Okay.
So we could have a StarTale Team Kill finals with Squirtle versus Parting. Yep, could be interesting.
And important to note now for both of our players, it was command structures first, both these guys. So they are going to play nice and economic. We could be in for a good long game here. Atlantis Spaceship, of course, a 2-player map, but an extremely large 2-player map. So you can see just how long it takes this probe to make it across the map.
Long time.
Also, it looks like they're using the GSL version because they have the pocket expansions here with just the 5 mineral patches and the 1 Vespian Geyser, and also no Zelnaga Tower over at the north, just the one sitting in the middle of the map. Yeah,
little variations between maps, but it shouldn't have a huge effect overall. I feel like MC is going to be a little bit more comfortable on this map than Polt is. Polt's TVP generally likes to include some early aggression, and it's difficult to do that on this map. It's a very big map. MC getting in and getting good scout here. Seeing that second barracks, that's pretty important, actually. Kind of telling him that there's no, real quick double gas or anything like that. So he does actually gain some pretty valuable info by getting that probe in there. But I'm curious to see what Polt is going to do next. If he's just going to wait for that probe to die and then throw down 2 gas, maybe go towards Medivacs relatively quickly. He could also just throw down a few more barracks and go for bio upgrades as well. Either one of those is very common, very good strategy on this map.
And Polt already sees the transferring probe, so he knows there's a very early base up for MC as well. But nothing too out of the ordinary for him. He's sitting on double gas, which is pretty normal at this point if he decided Nexus first. Cybernetic Score just finishing. It will give him a lot of flexibility to add additional gates or attack immediately. We'll see some players, because they built up that gas, move into a robotics facility pretty quickly, and then 5 more gates after that for that big 6-gate robo attack.
Oh, look at that. Nice control by Polt. That's some decent multitasking. He put down those gases as the probe ran out of vision range. He didn't even wait for the probe to die. That is pretty cool stuff. I love little touches like that you see for pro gamers, I mean, a lot of players would just be like, all right, now the probe's dead. Now I can put down my geysers. But a pro gamer will be like, all right, that probe's going to die. It's out of vision now. I don't need to wait. I can get that geyser a couple seconds earlier. That's cool to see.
That's not just a cool thing to see, it's also a very demoralizing thing to see, because I look at that and think, well, I could never do that. So, well done, Polt. You have both simultaneously impressed me and made me feel bad about my lack of StarCraft skills.
Mostly impressed, I'm sure.
Yes, mostly impressed. Okay, well, he does actually have 4 racks and a factory coming up right away. He's only been producing Marines 1 at a time, and will be able to bank a little bit of gas, expending some of that for that factory. So he, not a ton of units on the field, but he's investing in infrastructure so well right now.
Yeah, well, he wants to get a big, decent army going here, and MC going for, looks like, up to 4 gates, and is that just a single forge? Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Just a single forge here. So it kind of seems like a little bit more old-school way to play TVP, or PVT, rather. We've seen a lot of double forge builds, but the single forge hasn't quite been as popular in this matchup, so I'm curious to see what sort of tech he's going to add onto that. It's maybe going to be, okay, there it is, going to be a Robo. So
yeah.
with only one Forge, I feel like Colossi are a pretty good possibility here.
Would
you concur?
But I concur. Yeah, it's certainly possible. Whoa, okay, well, this is kind of an interesting curveball as well, because he did decide to go for that armor first. We used to see that a lot when people were going for a quick charge, or they were trying to make early gateway attacks, because it just gives Zealots so much resiliency against the Marines that are probably going to be unupgraded at this stage of the game. But then we started to see people go into double Forge, even single Forge, with Colossus pushes that were built around attack upgrades and hitting very early on in the game. So that armor upgrade gives me a little bit of pause, and there we go. It's a Twilight Council. That's kind of what I was alluding to, but that's an interesting development.
Yeah. So we're going to see what he sends out of that Robo. Probably going to be an Observer first here, but I want to talk about what Polt's doing right now. Look at the production queue. He's got 2 Engineering Bays and Cloaked Banshees on the way. That is fascinating, because usually you see a player kind of pick one or the other. If you watch MMA's TVP, a lot of times he'll go for double upgrades, but then he'll also take like a quick third with it. He'll expand along with it. But Polt actually deciding to do some aggression with Banshees here as well. Now the question is, will Polt be able to defend this little push from MC? I think he should be just fine. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, because that Banshee is going to go out there, get to MC's base when his army is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, that's very true. And this should start sending up some red flags for Polt, as MC keeps testing the defenses up at the front now.
Of course.
Polt sending out the Banshee around the left-hand side, though. Yeah, you were kind of alluding to that the other day, but here we go. Looks like MC trying to make his way in right now. He is able to go through one of the bunkers, not actually going after the second one quite yet, instead deciding to try and pick off as many units as he can, but of course the Zealots did all die. Banshee number 1, though, just about to roll his way through.
And the Observer for MC did not see that Banshee as well. I was watching on the minimap. They did not cross paths. So that's going to be pretty big for Polt to get in there. And now the Banshee is in the base, killing probes right away.
Yeah.
Not even having to use that cloak yet. Will MC send an Observer back? I think he might just go home here.
He actually has continued to keep this one out across the map, and now the cloak is down. He needs to turn that around. He's actually starting, there we go. Another one did just finish up, so the Banshee does get killed. Managed to take out in total 8 workers, but I believe one of those was the scouting probe, so an additional 7 kills there.
Yeah, not too bad. So supply-wise, Polt a little bit ahead. His upgrades are going to be quite good, but MC keeping up with his upgrades as well. As a Terran player right now in Terran versus Protoss, you really do need to put an emphasis on upgrades that you hadn't needed to in the past, especially within like the last 6 months or so. I mean, ever since the double Forge style became very popular, Terran's been putting more of an emphasis on upgrades. Now, MC is doing the single Forge, but he is chrono boosting it quite a bit. He's putting a big emphasis on those upgrades even still, and Terrans a lot of times in the kind of early late game will find themselves at a big disadvantage because of upgrades.
And this is kind of a cool attack coming out of eventually MC here in just a bit, as we see Polt has added on a couple of tanks with this as well, as he invests in his upgrades. Of course, Stim coming very late in this game. He himself does have a 3rd base on the way as well. But MC doing a pretty cool thing here. Templar Archives just about to finish up an additional 2 gateways, so he's going to be on 8 gate. Probably Storm here in a bit as well, banking quite a bit of gas and producing Immortals with just single upgrades at a time, investing in that armor, as we kind of mentioned before. So, and Banshee sitting overhead, hasn't been able to snag that many kills. In fact, being dealt with quite effectively.
Yep. Yeah, being kind of a minor annoyance, but that is about it. And I mean, MC right now is in such a good position. He can just kind of see everything that Polt is doing and respond accordingly. Obviously, Templar with Storms are going to be quite good. He could decide to make, there's an Archon right there as well. Doesn't quite have the time for Storms, but he does have Zealots with charge and +2 armor, so here we go.
Yeah, one of those tanks goes down right away. MC has a pretty good engagement with his Zealots. Those force fields actually split everything almost perfectly in half. He's cleaned up 2 of those tanks, the 3rd one going to finish as well. And MC, what a defense against that attack. So well done.
Man, with that +2 armor on the Zealots, of Marine machine guns do about as much as the laser tag guns we were using yesterday did to us. It's kind of like pew-pew, but the Zealots just shrug it off. They're like, we're fine.
Oh man, and shrug it off they did. So this is a pretty big arm that's coming out. We do finally see Storm following this as well. Now, because MC has bypassed Colossi for so long, though, Polt is not going to have to worry about investing in a bunch of Vikings early on. We're kind of, making the best of a bad situation for him, because he did take a big loss in that attack. But he can dedicate himself to almost pure bio units, a lot of good control, and we'll see what he does from there on out.
Yep, I mean, Polt is definitely one of the best bio players out there. In fact, he chooses to exclusively play bio in Terran versus Terran as well. So he's very confident in his Marine Marauder medevac usage, but he's in a rough situation right now. MC's taking his fourth, and Polt has not had his third up for all that long, really, yet.
No, he has not. A couple of photon cannons sitting behind the third here, and MC trying to run away to pull those Marines into the photon cannon. But good control out of Polt. Kept the Marines away for a little while. Now just decides to kind of run them in, but does manage to snag a couple of pro kills, disrupt some mining time.
Yep, his upgrades are still pretty good as well. I mean, MC's got +3 armor on the way, but I think he only has +1 weapons. Or did he get weapons at all?
He has not gotten weapons, I don't believe.
Okay, yeah, just wow, that's actually interesting. Just going straight up for armor. That's something that I haven't actually seen for a while in PvT. But against a player that is going rather Marine heavy, it's certainly quite useful. But now that Polt has added on a lot of Marauders, that could change things a certain extent, and that's why we saw MC getting Storm as well with that. He's like, I know my opponent's going to adjust. I need something other than just these armor upgrades, just a lot of Zealots to handle this now.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of into another phase of the game at this point. Both players probably going to get pretty close to max before we see any really big engagements yet.
A couple simultaneous attacks going on at once. Polt trying to run down around the outside. He also has a medevac drop on the left-hand side, but of course MC knows about that. Blink is not finished though, so he won't be able to pick off those medevacs. He tried to attack over on the right-hand side, but Polt is able to clean that up pretty well. So all in all, you know, Polt deflects an attack, MC deflects an attack, and both players kind of play each other to a standstill.
Where are those Templar going? They're just kind of hanging out. Okay, now they are turning around.
And look, you know, we were talking about before the GSL PvT finals between Rain and MC, but look how far we've come since then. We're sitting at 16 minutes. Both players are almost max, and they're on 4 bases.
A little bit different than the all-ins we saw back then. And that bio army will easily be able to take out these Zealots. It will take some storm damage, though, but only one storm gets off before the Templar goes down.
And we had an attack over here at the same time through the middle of the map. There was only a small token amount of units there for Polt. This is where most of his forces are, and he is reinforcing in that direction. MC actually cutting off reinforcements, so pretty well with a good number of forces. He's got to get back home, though, to start defending, because Polt, even with the damage he's taken, will be able to go through this Nexus if unopposed.
You can really see how those Marauders are just tearing through the Zealots because they don't have any weapon upgrades right now. I mean, this army is certainly going to die to this, I would say, but yeah, you can really see how the tables have started to turn a little bit. 3-3 on the way now for Polt.
Yes.
And he has pulled, well, he had a bit of a supply lead for just a second. MC, of course, has caught up very, very quickly, but you know, we'll have to see what happens. MC losing a lot of important units here, actually.
No kidding. And important to note, you kind of mentioned that supply advantage, but MC was actually ahead by upwards of 30 or 40 after that big attack. Oh, tried to morph in an Archon and couldn't get it at the last second.
He's like, no, they're like reaching for each other and one of them dies.
I've always loved you.
I'll never forget you. I'll never let go. All right, so
which one was Jack and which one was Rose, though?
I do not know. I never. Here's okay. For movie buffs out there, I have a confession to make. I've never actually seen all of Titanic.
What? Oh, it's my wife's favorite movie, so I've had to see it, of course, a lot of times.
I'm not interested.
Huh?
I know what happens. Spoiler alert: the ship sinks.
You know, as a spectacle, though, as the most expensive movie ever made, it was kind of cool to see in theaters. You know, big screen, special effects, things like that. Water.
That was
well, okay, well done.
Expensive.
Touché, sir. I actually accept that.
Speaking of boom, this Nexus may go down, although those are some nice storms.
Look at those storms! Oh my god! Well, see, Polt is actually dropping at the same time, though, and taking out some structures, so three-pronged attack from him as he reinforces with units down around the side as well. Looks like MC will be able to clean this one up. Can he get back to defend this, though? The Templar Archives was not really being focused down, more just kind of letting everything die here.
He's more worried about the attack in the middle of the map right now. Trying to control against those speed lots requires constant micro. It's a lot of Archons, though. The drop finally cleaned up at that 4th base as well. Polt's army a bit fragmented, but he did get some damage done at least.
And it looks like he's going to try and redrop this, so there's already a lot of Immortals and Zealots there sitting. There's so much action happening on the map. There were 4 different attacks going on at the exact same time.
Prongs QXC would be proud of.
That's true. Somewhere he's silently clapping. Golf claps, I might add.
It's just a silent clap.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Well, okay. So, let's see, what is it? 183 to 169, so MC does have a bit of a lead again. You know, having that 4th base up for a little bit longer helps. And Polt, you know, it seems like he's getting a little bit desperate here right now, to be honest with you. These drops are just very dangerous. This is not going to end well.
Oh, let's see. He's going to need a feedback. There they go. That's what I was waiting for, and the rest of this army will get cleaned up. Polt actually dropping over at the 4th at the same time. Oh, but he backs himself into a little corner, takes a lot of damage from the storms. He is able to clean up or cause a few probes to die by storms more than anything else, but still not a great drop out of him there.
Yep. That's right. Now, Polt has a ton of money right now, too. How many barracks does he have? Is he a little bit low on production facilities,
Good question.
possibly?
There's 3. We'll go ahead and take a look real quick. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is all I see.
Yeah, actually, he is a little bit low then. Yeah, you would normally want to have a few more barracks at this point, so that is part of it as well. And, losing this 3rd is certainly not going to help at all either. MC slowly starting to kind of gain the momentum. That's a big army for Polt, but will it be enough? So much AoE damage in that army for MC.
Oh, but he snipes out the Templar, so he's not going to have to worry about any storms, and MC is forced to run back. Here comes a storm from the back, though. That actually catches a lot of units and dealt out some pretty good damage there. Still not going to be enough. MC going to lose this attack here up at the front, giving Polt once again a temporary supply advantage, and he will be able to set his 4th base back down. What a crazy game we've had so far.
I know, what a back and forth match. Polt just playing at his, Polt-esque, I guess.
Yeah,
just
pretty
being
much.
Really aggressive, being everywhere, relying on just strictly his Marine Marauder medevac control to a certain extent. He has, a few ghosts here and there, but largely it is just Marine Marauder medevac. That's how he likes to play StarCraft 2. We can see that he's very, very good at it.
Yes.
MC, though, he's improved so much. I mean, seeing him go into these late-game situations, making all these good decisions with tech and everything like that, I really do enjoy watching MC play now.
It's I'm glad you're finally coming over. I'm just somewhere. Joshi is clapping. He is happy. He's got a smile on his face.
Well, he's a pretty good casting partner too. So
that's very true. All right. Well, looks like MC's just delaying for the perfect storms, and he does actually hit a couple very, very good storms. There's enough medevacs here that those units are getting healed up pretty quickly, but look how low they are now, and the charge lots are going to just crash through them. But at the same time, Polt's making his way into the main, starting to camp a few production structures.
Yep, looks like Polt tried to lift off and then redrop maybe, but that's not going to work. Oh, is he going to get a feedback? He does feedback one of the medevacs, but doesn't kill it. That drop is certainly a bit worrisome, but I think the Archons should be able to push it back.
Yeah, it looks like they will. So once again, Polt's really trying to be the aggressor as he establishes a 5th base. That's actually a pretty big advantage for him right now if he's able to pull it off. Looks like a few Marauders stimming up to go ahead and take out that Zealot there.
What an awesome game already. MC having to rebuild his Templar archives because Polt sniped it.
Yeah, no kidding.
These guys really trading blows quickly. It looks like there's another little engagement on the left side of the map, but MC will win that easily.
Yeah, rest of the units for Polt going to have to make their way out of there. What is it with game number 1s and Fight Club that have been so good recently? Last week as well.
Fight Club is just so good.
I think Fight Club is amazing. Yeah.
Fight Club is just awesome.
All right, well, let's see here.
That's how it is.
Polt actually floating down another base. Was that his main? No, it was actually a 6th command center that he did make. So he's going to be sitting on 6 bases now. MC all of a sudden in a position where he's going to need to play economic catch-up.
Yeah, Polt has somehow kind of wrestled an economic lead from MC. Let's see the worker count, though. I'm kind of curious where that's at. 57 to 52, both of them about even on workers, but that does actually give the lead to Polt because of mules in this case. And playing bio like this is a very mineral-heavy kind of way to play, so he will want to focus on, mules and things like that. Lots of orbitals, trying to avoid getting planetaries if he can. MC moving out with another army.
Yeah, and at the same time, Polt's going to try and drop the main once again. Oh, and the Observer moves away. The wrong time. There are a fair number of units there for MC to defend this, and looks like they're immediately moved into position. AoE from the Archon should be able to deal with these battle units. Oh, well, if they're both attacking, only one was going at the same time. So at the exact same time, Polt tried to move out and engage, dropped down a couple of EMPs, but he's got his ghosts a little bit forward right now, hasn't been able to land those, hasn't been able to find that perfect engagement yet.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, that does help. MC's going to need some amazing storms to win this fight, and he's not going to get it right now. Oh, that's a good storm, but another EMP hitting those Templar here. Polt coming in.
Yeah, and a lot of these units are actually pretty low. Those Archons almost without any shields, and MC smartly moving back, but Polt takes that as an opportunity to move through. Storms, though, ravaging the bio unit. So good. MC going to make his way back in one more time. The Archons, for the most part, have gone down, but now the medevacs are so low. The rest of the reinforcements making their way in for MC. Oh, my God, this is so back and forth.
I know, and even with MC winning this fight, that doesn't change the fact that Polt can still continue to produce his army faster than MC. MC is actually trying to tech switch over to Colossi right now.
Wow.
And that is going to be very difficult to do with the resources that he has to work with at the moment. He's opening himself up to just kind of being overrun by Polt right now, so he needs to be very, very careful with this. Looks like some Zealot aggression up at the top of the map in the 12 o'clock position.
Yeah, that's pretty
definitely
good.
the type of thing he needs to do at this point in the game, yeah.
Definitely. Denying mining there for quite a while. There were a bunch of mules that were sitting there that are going to have to move. Different mineral patch. That actually is a loss of a few hundred minerals, believe it or not, and that temporarily equalizes the income rates for these two players. But
the
of course,
macro is just so good for both of these guys.
I know.
Yeah.
MC though really needs a 5th base.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. But where do you take it? That's the question. I mean, he's thinking about maybe taking it at that small base, but you know, he can't take it at the bottom right. Polt will have that covered, no problem. It's an easy thing for him to kind of push down and do that. Scan from Polt, just kind of seeing the army. He may just decide to go in here. Oh, nice feedback.
Oh, wow. Feedbacks and snipes galore, but MC does win that little trade of caster units.
Yep. That's right. Now, MC is really kind of showing us a different style of playing this than we would see from like Parting. You know, Parting likes to keep his Templars separate from the army, you know, get a good flank with them with storms and things like that. MC just kind of likes to move everything in and then storm as the armies engage. So it's kind of two very different styles of PvT, but you know, they're both fairly effective. MC just seems to know where to put those storms, and look at this, he's getting 2 Colossi right now at once. Thermal Lance getting close to done, but like I mentioned, this leaves him just a little bit vulnerable, and any little vulnerability at this point in the game could end up being deadly.
All right, well, it looks like he's warping in a couple more Zealots to try and take care of this, but the 3-3 bio forces for Polt are cleaning up this little defense force pretty quickly. MC still has quite a few units to deal with there, and we'll need to send some stuff back. In fact, has to reveal the Colossi, in which immediately Polt, literally the second he sees those Colossi, just starts moving into Viking production.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you need to do. He can only produce 2 at once as well, so he may decide to even throw down another Starport or something like that to catch up quickly. Kind of like what we see in late-game TVZ. If you get surprised by Broodlords, that can happen. MC waited so long this game to start Colossus Tech that I think Polt was kind of lulled into a sense of security. He's like, all right, maybe he's just not going to go Colossi this game. But as we can see on the screen, that is not the case.
And looks like MC just about to finish up another base here. As we can see, he's getting very low down at his 3rd, and we'll need to start sending over some units there. Looks like a big engagement in the middle, though. EMP is actually chain hitting a couple of those Archons, but he lulls the units right into the Storms. The Storms, once again, just incredibly on point for MC. However, all the rest of his gateway units did get destroyed. That leaves the Colossi exposed. Polt now with a pretty good advantage, putting on some pressure onto this 5th base.
And look at this, supplies nearly identical. Again, those Storms
my God!
The bio, they're all so low. And Polt, I don't know if he can actually take out this base with what he has. All MC needs to do is have kind of one warp in of Zealots, and here they come.
Yeah. Look
Pushing
at
back
this.
Polt again.
Feedbacking a couple additional ghosts. One EMP finally does hit some Templar, forces them to make an Archon, but he does at least temporarily delay the destruction of this Nexus. Another Storm hitting bio units. Oh my God.
Wow, it's like MC somehow discovered like the hidden Kaidaran amulet upgraded still in the game somewhere, and he found it because he's got so many Templar with Storm ready. Looks like Polt just barely maybe doesn't have enough here. There's more reinforcements on the way, but it is so close right now. 93 to 88 supply.
This is unbelievable that how back and forth this has gone. So MC now, he does have a breath of fresh air with a little bit of additional mining. Archon's making the way up with full upgrades, actually doing quite a bit as well. One Archon finally does die. Important to note, I looked at the Zealots before because he's denying some mining over here at this base, and he completely cleaned out the 6th once again.
Yeah, that's actually a really huge deal that he was able to do that. That could give him, you know, a little bit of momentum. That would certainly help Polt's economy. Still looking strong, though. Both these guys really even. The big difference is Polt has much less workers right now than MC. He only has about 35, I think I saw with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to need to use some minerals maybe to kind of reproduce some of those.
Yeah, he does have 7 mules down, though. Oh my God.
That helps too,
I just hit puberty there as well.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long time coming. The mules, though, do stack with those SCVs, so we'll see that income rate jump up in the short term for Polt.
Right.
Couple more Zealots over to the left, though. Looks like Polt what is he doing with these? He was trying to rally them away from the Zealots, it appears, but ended up running them directly into them.
Well, yeah, nobody's perfect.
MC actually checking and clearing out this base down at the bottom right as well.
Yep. All right. So MC's got a base again. Starting to pull a little bit ahead on supply. Upgrades are even because they're both pretty much maxed out at this point. Has MC gotten shield upgrades yet?
No, not the last time I checked.
All right.
No.
So yeah, he can still upgrade a little bit, but he just doesn't have the money to buy it right now.
And
let's see.
Yeah, Warpin over here. The Warp Prism and the Marines actually going directly after the Warp Prism to prevent future Warpins. Did result in the loss of a few additional Marines, but certainly worth it to prevent anything else from coming in.
Right now, because we know the worker count is lower, Polt certainly has a much bigger army than MC.
Yeah.
But MC has a much better capability to eliminate large parts of Polt's army quickly.
That's true.
With all the storms, with the Colossi, things like that.
Oh my God!
To continue making them. He doesn't actually make any more Colossi, but
so many Templar.
He's still got good AOE.
And yeah, Polt actually just running through the storms, just wanted to find his way to get the best possible engagement. But look how many Templar there are! And once again, MC just using those to push his opponent back. That's the money storm right there, though. And TSL.Polt is being forced back once again. AoE from the Archons cleaning up a good portion of the rest of these forces.
Yep, that's right. Zelt's coming from behind here. MC pulling ahead a little bit on supply.
Wow.
And the question is, how long will Polt be able to sustain this, you know? I mean, it's kind of a question of attrition right now, you know, who can survive? And right now, MC starting to finally push Polt back.
Yeah, it looks like it's the first time he's had Archons this far forward in the game, so now he can start directly threatening the economy of Polt, and those Marines, despite their high DPS, are very fragile to this AoE from the Archons. So you can see how many units these Archons are killing, just being able to brute force their way up.
The unstoppable Archons, 82 supply to just 60 right now, and all the SCVs die. That could be the beginning of the end, actually, for Polt right there. I mean, it was looking rough already, losing an orbital, but yeah, if you lose the last remaining SCVs you have, all he needs to do is kill the SCVs at this space, and that should draw the GG from Polt. It looks like MC finally getting the lead. He needs to win this game.
Yeah, and let's see if he's able to hit a storm here. No, actually just going to drop it on the units that are reinforcing behind. The mules sneak away, but all the rest of the units have gone down. Just 44 supply to 100 now.
7 SCVs.
Yeah, I mean, Polt made one incredible game out of this, especially if we remember way back when he tried to assault the third and took a huge loss to MC with a perfect defense, was able to rally his way back and continue to put on pressure. Unfortunately, though, looks like he's just going to come up a little bit short.
Yep, looks like he's not going to be able to quite do it this time. 100 supply about to only 40 for Polt, so yeah, I think it is only just a matter of a little bit of time here until we see the GG from our TSL player. And what a start to Fight Club.
No kidding.
What a challenge for Polt now, especially to go into the next games, you know, after losing this one. If he comes back now, it's going to be a miracle. But this is the type of game that, you know, really tires you out. And at the start of a best of 9, that's rough.
And very demoralizing, you might add as well. And not just that you're like physically tired, but at the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I just played a 40-minute game. I lost. This is exhausting. So,
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, MC clearing up yet more SCVs. That number continues to dwindle down, just down to 7 workers now. The final units for Polt are basically sitting right there. That's about all he's got left in terms of supply. 11 Marines being produced at a time, but look at this. MC has taken another base. His economy is just staggeringly better than his opponent.
Yeah, things continuing to look pretty rough for Polt. There's another fight there up at the top of the map. Looks like MC's going to eliminate the rest of the units here. Most likely, there's a G.